Citizen Slave!
Hello, I am Citizen Slave. And let's have a little bit of a pre-E3, shall we? Lots of rumours and leaks and speculation as ever. It's one of those events that people either love or hate. It's a big bombastic hype machine that's there to push those new games in your face so much that you really bloody want them. But a lot of people don't like that big bombastic kind of event. I rather do, I have to say. I'm old enough now to not in any way be overhyped by certain things, but that comes with the experience of watching many E3s. Let's talk about each of the major conferences coming up, kind of what we expect to see, etc. And the first, kicking off in a few days on June the 9th, is of course Electronic Arts. Now at this point, I don't think they've got that much to show. I'm sure there'll be the usual caveat of sports games, so you can have your FIFA 19s and your Maddens and everything else. Then you've got Battlefield 5. I'm sure there'll be a huge section on that. More gameplay reveals, maybe some actual multiplayer footage after that announcement a little while ago. And then Anthem, which I think a lot of people hope will be good, but are a bit worried because of Mass Effect Andromeda and EA. But they might be changing the way they look at microtransactions. We might not have loot boxes too much in future EA games. But again, this is EA, so we shall see. Then, on Sunday, June the 10th, we have got 3 big uns. One huge, straight off the bat, is Microsoft. And there's a lot of rumours being speculated over in terms of what Microsoft might show. We've heard, and again, take all of this with a pinch of salt until we actually see the damn conferences, that they are doubling down on their most focused franchises. Forza Horizon 4, I would expect. Halo 6, some kind of reveal. Gears of War 5. And there's been rumblings of other Gears of War games, so a top-down strategy game in the vein of Halo Wars. And possibly something Battle Royale, but again, these are all full-on rumours at this point. Now, will there be any exclusives that we haven't heard of yet? So we're probably going to see Crackdown 3. We'll definitely hear more about DLC for State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves, I would imagine. But will there be anything else? Well, I don't think they're going to come out and announce they've bought a developer of any kind. I do think they're going to have what they often have, which is strong ties to third parties and a few exclusives, just in a time sense, being released on the Xbox first. Now, I'm an Xbox fan. It's my main console. I use my PS4 for exclusives. The Xbox is for everything else, basically. It's what I mainly do multiplayer on. So I'm really hoping Microsoft has a very good conference. But they need some more exclusives to compete with Sony in that space. They're competing in a completely different space with their crossplay, their PC stuff, Xbox Adaptive Controller, the updates to the UI and Xbox, which is really cool. And, of course, the creme de la creme, backwards compatibility, which I think has been amazing. Not only the 360 games, but now the Xbox originals as well. No one else is doing it quite like Microsoft. And that's even without Game Pass, which is sterling as well. Next up is a big one. And that's Bethesda. And they, I suspect, have rather a lot to show. There has been rumblings for a while that there will be a Prey standalone prequel sequel or something. Much in the vein of Wolfenstein Old Blood. There has been rumours that we might possibly see something Doom, but we might not. Fallout 76. I will just assume there's going to be a blowout of information on that particular game, because we had that little weird Twitch static screen then teaser thing. Bethesda will also be having a little chat with us about a little game called Rage 2. Leaked, semi-revealed, and I can imagine that and Fallout 76 will have a huge presence and quite long sections within the overall Bethesda press conference. But the big one for Bethesda, I think, this year will be the reveal of Starfield. I don't think we're going to see anything Elder Scrolls, apart from maybe something to do with ESO or something to do with the card game. Nothing in the main series. But Starfield, we're kind of thinking it's going to be a big sci-fi, single-player, role-playing epic. So that I'm really excited for. Something a bit different. the tenets of what Bethesda do in their games, but set in this completely new universe and very sci-fi. And I bloody love sci-fi. That could be a good one. The last one on June the 10th is Devolver Digital. And it will just be fun hilarity. So tune in for that if you can. Devolver, last year, they were crazily fun. And not many conferences tend to be remotely that. I'm definitely going to tune in for that one. On June the 11th, we have another set of big hitters. We've got Square Enix, and they've got a few things they're working on. The Avengers game should be a pretty big one. Maybe we'll hear something about a new Just Cause. That Studio Avalanche is obviously working on something, but we don't know what. We'll probably get some Kingdom Hearts stuff, maybe some Final Fantasy stuff. And not forgetting Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I think along with the Avengers game will be Square Enix's real big hitters for this particular E3. But yeah, Square Enix have got a few things to show this year, a lot more than I think they had last time around. Ubisoft, they're up next. And well, we'll have some kind of Just Dancing game. That's a foregone conclusion. Not very particularly interested in said dancing game, but it's always there. It's a staple of the Ubisoft gaming diet. We will see AC Odyssey, which Ubisoft just basically went, it's been leaked, might as well tell people about it a little bit before E3. So now it's out there. I like the idea of Ancient Greece. That's pretty cool. Origins was good. I love the environment. I love Ancient Egypt. So I'm kind of semi-looking forward to that. We'll see what happens with that. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I would expect we'll get a bit of a gameplay blowout. I hope, anyway. Something a bit more tangible so we really truly know what the gameplay is and how the game functions. Although we have fairly recently had a few little snippets of gameplay in terms of the fighting mechanics and the way the ships will work. So we just want more. A hell of a lot more, please. And then there's The Division 2, a sequel to what I guess we could call a sleeper hit. It started a bit rockily, the first Division. A few issues, lack of content. But as with many Ubisoft games, they just support the hell out of it after launch. You only have to look at Rainbow Siege 6, Wildlands, and of course The Division, amongst others, For Honor, to see just how much support they provide their games after support to keep them going, keep the player base interested, and hopefully really make that game better than it was at launch, which I know isn't great, but at least the support there, rather than just annexing it and then off you go and make the other one. But Division 2 is coming. I suspect that'll be a fairly big reveal in terms of gameplay, modes, content, all the rest of it. An absolute blowout on Ubisoft press conference for that one. And then maybe a new Splinter Cell. I could imagine that. It's been quite a while. There's no real game like it now. MGS has obviously gone the way of the Konami Dodo and pachinko machines. So yeah, that would be nice. It'd fill that space, which is a little bit vacant at the moment. You've got a few games which are kind of similar-ish. Hitman to some extent, but Splinter Cell would be a nice addition. It's been quite a long time. Next up is Sony. And I'm sure they're going to have an immense amount of exclusives to show off. Last of Us 2 is going to be there, Part 2. That'll have a huge reveal, a full-on gameplay demo, I would imagine. So, looking forward to that one. It's one of their big staples. Can't go wrong with that. You've also got Spider-Man, Insomniac's Spider-Man. And to me, it looks quite Rocksteady-ish. You know, it looks like a kind of an open-worldy Rocksteady type game with that kind of combat flow. That almost QTE, get the counters right combat flow. I think that will be pretty damn cool. Sony will continue with their exclusives with Ghost of Tsushima, which looks rather interesting. It's been made by the Sucker Punch guys who made the Infamous games. Then we've got another big un in Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding, made and written by Hideo Kojima, directed by Hideo Kojima and his pals, the Kojimas. And hopefully we'll actually get a really tangible sense of what the hell the game is. We've all been guessing from that big reveal CG trailer, so it'll be nice to get some maybe gameplay that we can actually watch and semi-understand. Apparently, there's not going to be any hardware shown by Sony, which is an interesting one because I thought perhaps we would have seen a new iteration of the PSVR headset, but that's obviously going to be a little bit later. And Sony do have a habit of announcing all kinds of big things at a lot of other conferences they go to as well, including their own PlayStation Access. Days Gone will be there, another post-apocalyptic survival-y game, but we do get motorbikes, so I'm relatively happy about that. So the last big conference is Nintendo. Of course it is. And they've got a few things they're probably going to want to show. Star Fox Racing has been mentioned a few times, I have heard. So that'll be weird, I guess. But we'll see. Super Smash Bros., whether that's a new version or whether it's like Mario Kart 8'd and new characters, or the Inklings, as it were, in the trailers, and then a few other bits and pieces. But it'd be nice if it was a new Smash game. Metroid Prime. I would expect a lot more than the logo of the game. I doubt it'll be a full-on, massive, great, big 20-minute presentation of the game, but I do think we'll end up seeing a proper trailer at the very least. So, that, we'll see how that goes, I guess. Now, there's obviously going to be other developers there, apart from the big guys doing all the ridiculous, over-the-top presentations. There's a slight rumbling that Warner Brothers might be presenting Hitman 2. That's quite interesting. I rather enjoyed the first one, or the last one, as it were. And then on top of that, we got Red Dead Redemption 2. Although Rockstar don't really care a lot about E3, they don't often show up. So I kind of don't think we're going to see much from them at this E3. Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 from Activision. So I'm sure they'll add more to what they showed in the reveal, get some live gameplay, some stuff like that. Activision hasn't really got that much. They've also got the Spyro collection, and not really a great deal else. They're kind of such a focused, hunkered down company that, just do a few major franchises. They might have something interesting to reveal, but it's more than likely going to be a Call of Duty fest with a few other addendums for games kind of added on. Fortnite will probably be coming to the Switch, so that might be announced, along with games like Overcooked 2 and Paladins. So a lot of these free-to-play games now, with that huge market that Nintendo has developed with the Switch, they'll be heading over there looking for those extra Ninty monies. Borderlands, possibly getting a re-release or remaster on PS4, Xbox One and PC. It seems if we do get that, we're not going to get anything from Gearbox about a Borderlands 3. It's obviously in development, but yeah, it's probably going to be a little stopgap just to keep players sweet before number 3 arrives. And the last game I want to mention is something that is hugely on my radar and has been in development for a while, and I really need to see it, and I think many of us do. That is CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. I wonder how it's going to be presented. It's such a hugely anticipated game. You'd think maybe a Microsoft might have had a word in their ear about having that in their press conference. I would expect to see gameplay, proper decent trailer, cinematics and gameplay. A little bit of a segment on it. Build that hype up before next year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of the games coming from this E3. In particular though, Cyberpunk is right up there. And that's pretty much it. There's quite a lot of stuff coming. Again, take a lot of what I've said with a pinch of salt. A lot of this is typical leaks, rumours, and the power and joy of speculation. But hey, that's what we have E3 for. To get a bit excited about stuff. Don't let the hype take you over. Yeah? Don't let the hype take you over. But enjoy it. Enjoy the shows, enjoy the reveals. Get excited for stuff if that's what you want. If you have any games that you are truly interested in, chuck them in the comments. Anything you want to talk about, chuck it in the comments. Any speculation you think, oh, that could be cool, chuck that in the comments. Try to make sure that you have a great time. I hope you have enjoyed this little E3 E3 pre video. If you did, hit that like button. Maybe sub to the channel. If you didn't like it, hit that dislike button. Not everybody likes everything. Take it easy. I shall see you very soon. Citizen Slave.